for all my friends who I've been talking to minimalism about, I wanted to do a messy house tour, because something I've started to realise is that the tidiness of my house has been less about how much we own, although that has significantly contributed to how tidy the house has been. But I think it's more been the systems I've adopted that have led it to be really tidy. I would say that majority of the time my house is really tidy, but that's only because getting rid of ridiculous volumes of what we own has allowed me to keep on top of really simple systems to keep the house tidy. I want to do a quick house tour of the messiest it's been in a while, to show you that when I've said to you the 30 minutes to guest ready is not actually the whole truth, because unless you keep the systems, you're not going to be able to achieve that. But I am, after this, going to see how long it takes me to tidy, because I've got a feeling I might actually be able to tidy the whole house in 30 minutes anyway, because that stuff, that's just what's come in from us after school. Because what I do when I come home from the school run is I completely empty my car. That's one of my systems. I empty everything out. So all of the books, the shopping, I mean, that's just an empty shopping bag. All of the wellies are here, they've been kicked off. I don't know why the brolly's there. You can see there's a few just bits, crisp packets. I've not left anything in the car. This place looks trashed, but I know exactly where it's going really quickly. So that's the hall, that's pretty trashed. The living room, I mean, it's fine really. It's just a few things lying around, a few blocks. Someone's kicked off their socks. This room is absolutely fine. And then if I go into, and I'm entering each room not really knowing what I'm dealing with. A few games have been pulled out from, because this is our unit that has some games in. There's some clean washing on there. I mean, this is just washing, you're always going to have washing. This area's gotten a bit out of control. When I open the drawers, they don't really make any sense anymore, but that's fine. I can take 2 seconds to clear that up. But yeah, it's just stuff's everywhere. Technically, my house is quite messy right now, but compared to what it looked like in 2021 messy, it's absolutely nothing. I'm just doing a tour to show you what messy looks like for me today. What's going on in here? Okay, yeah, so another thing about my systems is last night I'd had a chocolate dessert and a cup of tea, and I always, every morning, my system is everything. As I leave a room, my system is I bring down anything from, that needs to be cleared. That's just my outfit from this morning, because I had a shower and I ran downstairs to change because I had to leave real quick. The kids have done some drawing with breakfast this morning. This is shopping where I've just come in and dumped it. Just general not clearing up after myself. It shows where I'm at today, because I never make coffee without putting the lid back on and putting it away. That shows that today's been quite hectic, and I love living by the Ohio rule, which is only handle it once. For example, the reason that this Calpol is here is because I've given Calpol, so my kid fractured her ankle yesterday, and then I've just put it down. I haven't given her Calpol and put it away. And then that's happened everywhere with my takeaway Italian. I've just left it. So this is genuinely the messiest it ever gets. So I do feel like sometimes it's a bit, don't like the word toxic, but saying, 30 minutes to guest ready. Yeah, but only if you're following those systems. Hi, Valley. You okay? Just doing a messy house tour. This is one of my kids' room. I did make the bed today. Cool. That's breakfast. My husband's selling a coat, so he's taken a picture and left it there. Fine, whatever. Dummies. This room's fine. This is getting more cluttered than I want. Just in the sense of there is loads of stuff in here that we're not using. So I will work through those. I'm also going to show you what's happened with my cupboards. So this room is a problem room. I mean, look at that. That's one of my decluttering buckets that I take around the house on messy days. And I've been working quite hard the last few weeks. So this is just rammed. And I'm like, what is this stuff? Where does it come from? Same with this. I did a video a while ago about decluttering this. Then it just shows that clutter can build. I haven't really bought anything. I'm like, where's all this stuff come from? This room is, again, not too bad. That should only take me a few minutes. I think I will tackle this as a separate project, all this stuff. This will be where I've got an hour to properly declutter, and we'll get some charity bags going, we'll give some stuff away. and do that. Piles of clothes where people have just had a bath and a shower, even me included. I don't know what is happening with me today. I just flung off my clothes and there's just a pile of clothes on the floor. But this is generally who I am as a person. That's why I have systems, because I am a messy person. That's what I always want to get across to people, is just that I am by nature quite messy because I like to rush around. My office is fine. Just a bit embarrassing now. What's my room like? Dirty wash in there. Towel hanging up that's wet. Unmade bed. I'm like nervous doing this. Unmade bed, pile of clothes. Someone had cereal up here by the looks of things. I'm not saying, oh, look at my disgusting house, because it's obviously not. Like, this is not, I wouldn't even judge someone if their house was ridiculously more messy than this, because why would you judge someone by what their house looks like? It's so boring. But I just wanted to show this because I think sometimes when I talk about minimalism to you guys, my friends, you think that I just live in this like perfect home where everything's always really tidy, and it's clearly not. Okay, so I start in the kitchen. I usually actually start in the attic because what I like to do is bring things downstairs and slowly kind of go with the process of like everything that's meant to be downstairs is where it needs to be before I start clearing it. But for some reason I started downstairs. As you can see, I'm emptying the dishwasher and I tend to like clear down whatever I can see on the cabinets. So you might not be able to see because it's speed up, but I tend to do things like all of the food across the whole kitchen will go into the food bin, and then I'll put everything together, put away miscellaneous items. But what I often do, if there's too many miscellaneous items, I'll just put them in like a pile at the bottom of the kitchen. So that's where I keep disappearing to when I'm going out of shot, is that I'm putting things rather than leaving the room. Same with that plastic bag. I was putting it ready to go with the other plastic bags, which isn't in the room. And now I'm just, putting the things in the dishwasher, fairly standard. It's a pretty quick process in my kitchen, actually. And I always like to put away the dishes as well as just washing them, and then wipe down all the surfaces so it feels like a full reset. The drawer that I'm in at the moment, which I just went in, was a bit frustrating because it's stuffed full of food waste bags because my kids separated them all out. So I'm going to do a bit of work in there. Oh yeah, now I'm going to make dinner as well. That's why this didn't take 30 minutes. This tidy up that you're going to watch did take about 1 hour and 20, but it's difficult to know how long really, because within 1 hour and 40, I also cooked dinner, fed it to the kids, like looked after their demands and stuff. So I feel like an hour, just over an hour to fully reset my house when it was in the worst place it can be is pretty good. Because as I showed you in the video just now, that is the worst it gets to, because it physically can't get worse than that, because there isn't really much else that can go wrong other than people dumping their clothes for the showers and you're not clearing up for dinner. So I do tend to, when I put on their dinner, I try to be quite methodical. So as you'll see with what I'm doing, I'm always, like when I get out the baking paper to wrap the chicken, I always put the paper straight back, put the chicken in, rinse out the plastic and put it in the recycling straight away. So you can see that I keep my worktops pretty tidy, and I just want to keep reiterating so that this is not going to make you feel like crap, that this is learned. This is not who I am naturally. So I had to learn to do this because it was so important to me to live in a stress-free space. I knew that if I kept hold of all the things that I own, I just wouldn't be able to get to this place, because I saw these influencers tirelessly tidying and cleaning and preening, and I thought, well, I don't want to spend my time like that, but I do want that calm feeling. So as you can see, I'm putting away all the things, and like after each step, I'm, even putting the food waste straight into the food bin. I've just cut my finger. That was not expected. So I go and get a plaster and feel sorry for myself. I've actually cut it quite badly, which I don't realise at the time, but now that I'm recording it, my finger is actually hurting quite a bit. So something that's quite important here to note as well is like, notice how I put the box straight back, and even the wrappers, I put those in the bin straight away from the plaster. Just these tiny little habits that make such a difference. And again, throwing away everything and clearing up, putting the oil away, putting the salt away, washing those little dishes, drying them, putting them away, it takes seconds. So down here you can see everything that I'd flung down to the other end of the kitchen while I was clearing. So just recycling those items, folding up the clothes that I randomly found in there so that they can then go on the steps, because what I do when I start downstairs is I put everything on the steps. Now I'm tackling the most irritating place for me, which is the hallway. I feel that everyone who is starting on a decluttering journey should absolutely start with their hall, because when you walk in, it just feels so upsetting if you don't like clutter to just walk into clutter. As you can see here, I've got quite a process as well. I put everything together that belongs together. So you'll notice that anything going on the steps, like books, clothes, they're all ready to go upstairs. The brolly and the wellies are going to the charity shop. One of them's kind of broken, the other one don't fit, and also are giving blisters to my daughter, so I don't want to keep them for the younger daughter. But you see I'm adding everything that needs to go upstairs just on the steps. I'm not walking away and putting them away. As you can see to the bottom left, there's like water bottles, anything rubbish for the kitchen, so all together, so then I can move around the spaces that are relevant to those and take them with me. So right now I'm putting all the shoes away. Then those items were going into the little craft area in the dining room. And then I'll take everything into the kitchen. As you can see, that was all stuff to recycle and put in the bin. Now I'm picking up the stuff from the kitchen that needs to go on the steps. So you can see there's not always like this perfect order, but things to go upstairs, and just putting things away in the little baskets as I go. Just tidying up the games, that was fairly straightforward. This games cupboard does really frustrate me because we're not playing any of them because they haven't been organised too well. And so they just kind of sat there, and it bugs me. So taking down the Valentine's cards, sorry, love, it was 3 days ago and I'm not feeling it anymore. I don't really know what I'm doing here. You can look at the light for a bit, but yeah, just starting to take things upstairs now. Bit of lip balm. My daughter's gonna come in for the little water spray. She likes, it's meant to be for spraying hair or plants, but she likes to just spray her face or her sister or any surface that is not meant to be sprayed. Putting my husband's backpack away and then taking everything upstairs. So you can see downstairs is now complete. And I don't know what happened here. I think I just put the phone the wrong direction, but I can't be bothered to change it. So what I do now is in each room, I basically pull everything off the floor or in the hall. So in this room, my youngest daughter's, everything that was in the hall, I've dumped onto her bed. Then I'm piling it into like whose pile it is. So, you know, an upstairs pile for me and my husband, a next door pile for my daughter, stuff to go back downstairs. This is why I usually go from top to bottom in the house, because this is quite backwards. And so I'm just putting things in the right rooms, and then I usually straighten the bed out and stuff. The bathroom didn't take long. I just straightened up the towel and put a few things away. And then in my second daughter's bedroom, you can't really see here because the footage went funny, but I've dumped everything onto her bed from the other rooms where I'd fold them ready. And then I'm also, what you can't quite make out that I'm doing here is that my youngest daughter decided to pull every single small little trinket toy that my eldest owns and dump it on top of her clothes, and every book as well. So I'm just picking out like maybe 300 small pieces and putting them onto my daughter's desk, and then we'll work through those together. I do believe in my kids putting their own clothes away. When it's gotten chaotic and unmanageable, even stressful to me, I personally don't believe that I don't want to try and get my daughter to do all of it alone. So what I tend to do is I reset what's gone before and then encourage her back into her routine. So she does make her own bed and she will put her clothes away after her, but I do need to give her a lot of nudges. So if you struggle with that, you're not alone. Also, I just wanted to reset. I'm not about like, oh, I'll wait till she comes home. Like, I can't be bothered. I just want to get it done today. But I understand there is an argument for kids clearing up their own clothes. And I will tackle the toys and other parts of her bedroom together. But I just wanted to kind of reset this. Putting all the clothes away all the time. Like I never have washing laying around anymore. That has been quite transformative for me as well. And before I used to have bags and bags and bags and bins of washing everywhere all the time. And going to bed was basically take everything off the bed and go to bed. So now I'm just resetting my bed. Again, I'm going to throw everything onto the bed. I just put everything that was like surrounding the room onto that one chest of drawers so that everything's in one place that either needs to leave the room. Then I just go in and straighten up the bathroom and bring anything in again. So you can see that everything that is like an item that hasn't got a home right now goes on top of the unit, and everything that's clothing gets put onto the bed. So at the moment, what I'm organising is one thing in one room. There's not like piles and piles and piles. It's just like one area. So as you can see, I put away as I go, and then I again pile into other people's rooms, like what needs to go where, and then just slowly working through it. And I feel like because I've put it all together, it feels so much less overwhelming. Again, to highlight, this used to be overwhelming because I had ridiculous volumes of piles everywhere, just every corner crammed, under the bed crammed, everything crammed, and that's because I owned too much. So this is definitely more of a realistic approach now, and I am a bit of a machine. Like, I will just keep going with stuff like this. I'm quite motivated to do it, but it feels good. So as you can see here, I've got like loads of things. There's a nappy, there's my laptop, there was a Calpol bottle, there was dishes. Everything has now left the room, and I've just put them just outside my bedroom. This was a little moment where I had been ignoring my kids for about 40 minutes, and my husband came home and wasn't too happy because my little girl had taken her boot off that's supposed to be helping her fractured leg get better. So we had a bit of a family moment, as everyone does, where it was all just a bit of everything kicking off and people having tantrums, including me, about like trying to be everything, trying to do everything, and then it all just reset and everything was fine. So this is why the bedroom is empty. All that's left to do is, you can see that little black blob in the corner of my bed, that's just clothes to hang up. So it was a really successful kind of clearing up session. That's not to say it was easy, because then I just felt really guilty that I hadn't been with my little children and they'd been watching TV the whole time, and I just felt like a bit rotten about that. I thought that today would be better to show you the finished result of the tidying because it was late last night. I ended up putting the kids to bed and everything. Actually, what's good is that what I'm showing you now is after a 15-minute clear up after they went to school. Because I did the big reset, it just means that there was nothing to do really today. We'll just have a little walk around and I'll show you how things turned out. And again, like I said, this was resettable within 10-15 minutes this morning. So one bedroom is clear. Woo! Office where I'm working on editing this video. Hello. That's all clear. My other little girl's room is good. I have, however, left all of this here because I do feel like that's something we need to do together, and it's not for me to just go around organising and clearing up for my kids. The bathroom is also clear and tidy. You know, this morning it's just the toothpaste smudges and stuff. And when that's the only thing, it doesn't matter. When there's toothpaste smears and clothes on the floor and stuff everywhere. Oh, that's a plastic tub that just needs to go into the recycling that I threw down the stairs because that's one of my processes. My house looks really weird. Yes, because I've zoomed out. I'll just put this in recycling. As you can see, this area is all reset. One thing for doing soon is there's about 9 coats there, which is not necessary. We usually put coats filed away if they're out of season. So this area is reset. I am going to work on decluttering these bins because they've ended up a bit full and there's stuff in there that we don't use. This is also something to move. My kids' eczema cream, so I'll put that upstairs in a minute. Oh, and a little donut toy. Okay, living room. This didn't need anything this morning because it was just done. And yeah, in that cupboard is basically the only books I own, which seems dramatic, but there is like a layer of books in there. But I just let go of any books I wouldn't read again, and I thought that was quite a good rule. I'm going to show you a little secret. These are out of my boot. Half of it's for charity, half of it's for posting back. I think I brought them in because I was cleaning the car, something like that. But yeah, they're kind of stuffed down there. That needs sorting out. And the classic, put a book on the coffee table to make it look like you're well read when actually you're just watching Suits. Good move. And then this room stayed the same. My daughter was working on something, so I've left that out for her. And also this, I need to get this card to my niece and post a gift to my sister. They're out there on purpose, and then that washing to dry, so I'll sort that out later. But all just feels manageable. And then the kitchen, yeah, it took just a couple of minutes this morning to clear up after breakfast because, like I said, the Ohio rule, I kind of tidy as I go. If I pick something up, like I'm going to make a coffee now, I will always put it back. And this does not have to be where you arrive, but I am really happy with it because, like I said, I am a messy person by nature. By owning less and having systems like Ohio, emptying my car every time I come in, letting go of things with the just in case rule. Things that I was keeping just in case are all gone. They've left my house completely. They'll never return. Thousands and thousands of items have gone and they will never come back. And I honestly have only ever missed a small cheese grater. And when I realised that I wanted the small cheese grater, I went in my boot and got it. I was lucky. I just picked it back up out of my boot because I was just like, oh yeah, I need that. I saved it. That's the only thing I've ever regretted and was lucky to get back. I couldn't tell you what the other things were. And I would say that the biggest challenge that families have is the just in case rule. A nice way to overcome the just in case rule is to look at an item with your partner or your family and say, if this blew up in flames right now, would we go to the shop and rebuy it within a certain period of time? The answer is no, you can probably let it go. I hope you've enjoyed this video, and I'm just going to stitch it all together, and then just drop me a little comment in the comments section if you found it interesting, and I'll speak to you soon.